our council committee meeting of June the 12th, 2025. We're almost to official first day of summer next week, so I don't know where the spring went to. We have a very busy agenda tonight, so we'll get right to it with the roll call. And please.
Thank you very much. So the chair, Deputy Mayor Sanderson.
Present.
Mayor Blair. Councillor Weatherby.
Present.
Councillor Richardson.
Present.
Councillor Cooper.
Present.
Councillor Johnson has sent his regrets. Councillor Leggett.
Present.
Councillor Martell.
Present.
Councillor Patton. Councillor Benoit.
Present.
Councillor Fletcher.
Present.
Councillor Kennedy.
Present.
Have quorum.
Thank you, Dan. In peace and in friendship and in the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to acknowledge that the municipality of Colchester is in Mi'kma'ki, the unceded and ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Before we begin, I'd like to welcome Jason Hahn. Jason is our municipal advisor with the government. Thanks for joining us tonight, Jason. We have an agenda ahead of us. Are there any additions or deletions? Seeing any, would somebody prepare to move the approval? Moved by Councillor Martell, seconded by Councillor Cooper. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carries. You have minutes before you of May 6th and 15th. Are there any errors or omissions? Prepared to approve the minutes, moved by Councillor Patton that the minutes of those dates be approved, second by Councillor Kennedy. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, motion was carried. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Seeing anything, we'll move right along then to our first action item, and it's the community event grant request from the Northumberland Arts Council. And Craig is here. Craig, can you lead us through this one, please?
Yes, I can, Madam Chair and Council. We have a grant application, community events for Northumberland Arts Council, and what they're looking for is they're doing a mini market and itty bitty busker fest in conjunction with the Wild Blueberry Festival. This is an event for 6 to 12-year-olds, and it would fall under the community event grant policy. They're looking for 2,600. The event would be on August 16th. And their organizing committee is looking at about having about 200 participants and followers to the event, trying to attract them from outside the region. And looking at in our 2025-26 budget, we had 60,000 in there. Currently, we've used about 26,826 out of that 60,000. Staff is recommending that we support this community event in the amount of 2,640. I'd open it up for council for discussion.
Thank you, Craig. Councillor Martell.
I'd like to make the motion that council committee recommends to council that the Northumberland Art Council's $2,640 funding request for the Mini Makers Market and Itty Bitty Buskers Fest be approved, with source of funds being community event grants.
Thank you. We have a seconder, Councillor Weatherby. Any further discussion on the motion?
Question?
The question's been called. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Craig. And our next item is a grant request from the Bible Hill Garden Club. And Craig, you're on again.
Okay, we have another request from the Bible Hill Garden Club, and they're looking to do a flower show in conjunction with the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition. This is a nonprofit group that's running separately. They're looking for some funds for about $1,000 for that event. The event is August 5th to the 10th, and they have put down approximately about 5,000 participants there. I would include, that would be the exhibition that would draw those in as well. This would be the first request of nature from this group, and as stated before in the previous community event grant on the budget, we had 60,000 in there. So staff is recommending $1,000 for their request, and there is an application and some budget attached and in that application. So I'd open it up to council or some questions.
Thank you, Craig. Anybody prepared to? Councillor Patton, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'm prepared for the motion on the floor that council committee recommend to council that the Bible Hill Garden Club
$1,000 funding request for the provincial exhibition flower show be approved with source of this funding being community event grants. And I'd like to speak on.
Thank you. We have a seconder. Councillor Martell seconds the motion. Councillor Patton.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say it's been a long time coming. It's nice to see this group back together and active again and prepared to put on the show at the exhibition. So I'm excited to see it.
Great.
On them.
Any further discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor, say aye. Contrary minded, nay. The motion carries. Thank you, Craig. Next item is the MacElmon Road Servicing Action Item, and Michelle Boudreau, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The item before council this evening relates to additional servicing on MacElmon Road in Debert. I will note that the intent of this item is essentially to get council's feedback in preparation for reviewing the capital budget in August, and so no tender commitments this evening. So currently on MacElmon Road in Debert, we have a lot that the municipality just sold beside Tim Hortons for 17.6 acres there. And in council's existing capital budget for last fiscal, we had budgeted $150,000 to service that lot with water on MacElmon Road. As you can tell from your action item, there are no services on MacElmon Road proper. This was a military era servicing schematic, and sewer goes through the woods behind Tim Hortons, and the water goes in the woods behind Kohler. So as we're servicing and building lots on MacElmon Road, we'll have to make some decisions on extending water and sewer. And so council was on board to extend water for the 17.6 acre lot, and that is in the budget. We did tender it last fall. The prices came in high, and since that lot hasn't started, the development hasn't started on the 17.6 acre lot, we decided to place a hold on the tender until potentially this year. Since that time, we've identified 3 new lots on MacElmon Road that are available for sale. The archaeological studies were completed. You can see in your item the 3 lots that are shown in brown there are available, but the area behind those lots is, I believe, being given to the Confederacy and can't be developed because of archaeological resources. So now we're looking for guidance from council on if and how to service those 3 particular lots and prepare them for sale. So what staff's included here is really 3 options. So one is to extend sewer in front of the 3 new lots and then run water all the way down MacElmon Road from Tim Hortons to Plains Road. So that would essentially be a full servicing for 1.38 million. The second option is to only extend water north and south as far as needed to service the lots, and so really not make the connection all the way along MacElmon Road. The sewer servicing would stay the same for the 3 lots there. And we're looking at $1.1 million. The third option is to not extend any water to the proposed 3 new lots and just go with sewer servicing and then water to the original 17.6 acre lot. Really the question here, oh, and that's 550,000. So really the question here is how far, if at all, do we extend water for these 3 proposed new lots? And while option 3 is the least expensive, it will of course affect the marketability of those 3 lots. Option 1 is most expensive. It also eliminates dead ends within the water system. There are some definitely pros and cons to both options. And so what I've also included in your item is a bit of information on the tax base and the potential return on servicing the proposed 3 new lots. And so council may recall that the sale of the 17.6 acre lot was valued at $450,000. We estimate the proposed 3 new lots could be sold at $100,000 each for a total of $300,000. That would be reduced if there were no water services included as part of the sale. And then based on commercial tax rates, we estimated potential revenue from these lots. So the 17.6 acre lot would be between 102,000 and 273,000 per year in revenue. And then the smaller, the 3 lots would be about in total $100,000 for the 3 lots. So in this item, there's some information on different approaches, looking for some feedback on council on if and how we proceed with servicing these 3 proposed lots on MacElmon Road.
Thank you, Michelle. Is anybody prepared to make a motion? There is a proposed motion there. Mayor Blair. Oh, sorry, Councillor Cooper.
Well, I'll make a motion. I'll
Yep.
speak on it.
Good.
I'd move that we go with actually option 1.
We recommend council the extension of services on MacElmon Road to service 3 proposed lots to be referred to the capital budget with scope of work as described under option 1. Okay, do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Patton seconds the motion. Councillor Cooper?
Yeah, just I'm reading everything that we've talked about so far. And I think that this way gives you the best opportunity for sale and development of those 3 lots, and doing the whole full meal deal, you don't get the dead ends, and you get, the estimate is within 5 years, you'd have your investment back. So I think we want to do development there. We want to do the best we can and better for the water system. And I just think that's the best way to go myself, so.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? Who's red? Oh, okay. Let's go. Councillor Leggett.
Thank you,
please.
Madam Chair, through to Public Works. I asked a question when we transferred the lands to back in Confederacy where PS1 is, about the services in that property. Do we still have access to those services?
No.
Yes, through the chair. So there is a water easement on the lot where PS1 was located. And so we have easement access to the services that are on that lot.
Because that already goes across the road to Clean Harbors and Inland Oil.
Yes, so
So-
TFL is serviced with water
we-
at the corner. So we would extend from there along MacElmon Road.
It comes right out in front of PS1 and goes across the road where you're indicating up there by Plains Road. The water already comes into Clean Harbors property now. So it could come down that side. And conversely, I see in other literature for tonight, if we wanted to be cheap and dirty, not dirty necessarily, but cheap and effective. With the proposed development for the red lot there, we could just go to that new driveway stub in there. Instead of going up 100 meters, going up all the way. I prefer going the whole length of the building. Another option could be to come through, get an easement through Calder's yard and come across. Sewer line can obviously go down through that right away, coming through where Calder is now. But for $100,000 lots, would well water make those lots much less valuable? Over having water, you're still gonna have to provide fire protection somehow.
Through the chair, so maybe I will defer the lot sale question to Jen, but in terms of servicing, so the forested area beside Kohler, we have had some archaeological finds on that area, so running a water line through there at this point, through the forested area beside Kohler is, to me, not an option. The length of water line, the 100 meters that's included already in council's budget, does not extend across the full frontage of the 17.6 acre lot. It's really just enough to get to the driveway essentially. So and maybe Jen, I'll defer to you for the question on the sale value without services.
Sure, through the chair. So we did have the commercial property assessment completed on the potential lots, which did indicate they would decrease in value, roughly the cost of installing a well, 10 to 15,000 per acre for each lot. However, there was a comment that much of the commercial warehousing of this size and nature does require municipal service water, particularly for fire suppression systems within the building. So it also decreased the marketability of the lot. Doesn't mean that there wouldn't be a business that could still operate on a well, but likely less potential available clients should we go that route.
Okay, Councillor Leggett with that?
Good,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay, and Councillor Weatherby.
Thank you very much. Through the chair to either Michelle or Jen, whoever wants to field this. Are there potential sales for those lots right now?
Through the chair to the counselor. Right now, we've had a recent request for a letter of intent and on the very first one, I told them I'd, further that conversation after tonight's discussion. But yes, the size and scope of these lots are very attractive. There's a lot of inquiries, particularly since this 17.6 acre lot was recently cleared. So I would suspect the uptake would be quick and definitely very desirable.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Councillor Martel, please.
Through the chair to staff, is there potential for any other infrastructure dollars through funding programs through the province or federal government to extend either of those services?
Michelle, please.
Through the chair, there are no open programs at the moment, but I do know, for example, the GRID program is an annual program and that will open up again 6 or 7 months. And so typically what will happen is anytime a new funding program opens up, staff will go through the approved capital budget and put in essentially shovel-ready projects to those programs. And so we would and could apply for funding as well.
Thank you. Any further discussion? We're ready for the question? Question has been called, so we're voting on option 1. The most expensive option. Okay, so we're clear? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you, Michelle. And now on to our information items. Number 8 is our Deer Study 2025 update. And it's a fairly lengthy document with a lot of statistics. Devin is here if there's any questions on the process. Councillor Cooper.
Just one question, reading that, do we, like they'd indicated that the possibility of revamping timeline for actually doing something? Do we have to initiate that or is that, where we at with that?
Yeah, so through the chair, sorry. The letter from the minister indicated that apparently the requirement of 3 years of data is more of a guideline, I guess, than we originally understood. So not to say that the research that we've attained and would continue to attain I think it will be very helpful, but yeah, so our understanding is that I think the contact was provided to be able to kind of indicate that we have an interest in pursuing a managed bow hunt of some sort, and we'll start the process from there, I believe.
So do we need to make a motion at council tonight or is that?
I don't think so. I think in the item, it's the staff will investigate what the options are, and then we can come back with if. it's a different point.
CAO, please. Thanks, Devin.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you through the chair. So yes, the assumption of staff is working on is there's a way to accelerate this to do it.
Okay.
That seemed to have been the general view of previous council meetings.
Councillor Weatherby, please.
Thank you. Just as an information item, next Wednesday, the 18th, NSFM is having a lunch and learn session. And that is about the deer, and so there could be more information if anybody wants it.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Devin. All right, moving along to the Fundy Discovery Site Pedestrian Active Transportation Bridge and some results from our RFP. And there's an item there. Are there any questions? Not. For Paul, you do, Councillor Cooper? Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to whoever, I'm not sure who the thing is, but maybe to Paul, I guess. The one picture that we have of the bridge, it looks like the one that was in the concept. The archway.
Oh,
I noticed there was a shorter span, like 20, 30. Full span. So as far as we, we know there's structurally no downside to doing spans compared to piers underneath.
That's correct, yeah. It was, to council, to the chair. You'll remember when we had tendered sort of the pre-design drawings and, initially we had one respondent, that came back there, it's like 527 million, that was a clear span bridge. Yet again, we had 3 respondents and bids range from 17.5 to roughly $28 million. So things weren't looking very hopeful, and we applied to the federal government, Transport Canada and Federal Fisheries to see if we could put piers on the water. The idea being that shorten up the spans, that should reduce the costs. And well, if you look at the responses we've received, it sure did. But so, yeah, there was one out of the 6 that proposed sort of a clear span without using any piers. The rest of them have anywhere from 1 to 3 piers in the river. So it's engineered to do just that. Although in this case, it's a glulam structure, arch with a steel superstructure underneath.
Structurally, no problem.
No,
So this to confirm, we was the 73.3, something like that percent. Still gonna get funded.
that's right. And
So is that just for the 11 million we started with, or would that go through to whatever price we bought them?
there is a cap on it. I think if I back up a little bit, back in 2020, we made an application for a number of active transportation projects, bridge being the most significant. And at that time, our budget was, we had budgeted roughly $10.8 million. It's part of our application to the federal provincial governments. But included in that package were a number of sidewalk projects. So we had one in Hilden, Brookfield, a multi-use pathway at the intersection of Valley Crossroads going up to Crowline Drive, and finally the Tidalborough Road multi-purpose pathway. So they were all sort of pulled together, total budget of about $14 million.
Like cumulative project?
It is, yeah, it is, because the Hilden Sidewalk project was started before we had federal provincial approval. I understand from my discussions with the province that, that money is available to sort of, that can be used for, directed towards the other 3 projects, if need be. And well, we know in Brookfield sidewalk project was over budget, over our application budget. So, it just depends upon how you want to sort of divvy it up, but total amount is available would be 3.6 out of roughly 40.
Oh, yeah, so we didn't, somewhere around that same price at 13 million. So.
Yep.
All
Okay,
right,
thank you.
Councillor Benmont, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Through you to Paul. I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be fantastic. There's a lot of residents over the last, 5 years that I've spoken to that are looking forward to it for different reasons. It's a lot of money, and I think the longer we wait, the more the bill's going to be. But I would like to see just as simple as we can get, because I've said it before, no matter what's there, people are gonna use it. So to me, the Fundy Discovery Site's already a tourist attraction. It's very well used and enjoyed, but my question is where do the funds come from for the maintenance of the bridge over the next number of years?
To you through the chair. Uh, our grants, external grants are for the capital infrastructure itself, maintenance responsibilities fall on the municipality.
All right, thank you.
Any further? Oh, Councillor Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through Paul. So at 77.9 million, how much does the county contribute to this project?
Through you, through the chair, 7.9 million.
Oh, all of it. There's no funding from either.
You're looking at the least expensive at
Yeah.
7.9.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Hold on, I got it there. Roughly 2.1 million from the county.
Okay. And back in reference back to the chair through to you from Marie's question, is there estimated maintenance budget for this bridge a year?
No, there isn't. The proposals do speak to sort of future maintenance considerations. We are in the process of reviewing sort of those technical requirements right now. But as I understand it from wood structures are very durable and resistant to the salty climates where with concrete steel you'll have both corrosion and corrosion of concrete and steel.
Thank you. I think it would, Madam Chair, through back to Paul, I think it would be nice to have some kind of estimated annual maintenance budget on this for inspections and upkeep before we come to a final vote on this, whether it's $10,000 or $100,000 a year, doesn't matter, just to have that kind of end number. Also, security on this bridge. Like I do have concerns about access to this thing after hours and week. Who's gonna police this thing? Thank you.
Councillor Cooper, please.
Thank you. Yeah, along those same lines, through Paul, yes, so the piers, they be considered part of the bridge, I guess, they still our responsibility.
Yes,
To inspect
they
and
would.
repair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Councillor Light, I don't know what the timeline, if we're doing those and the cost roughly.
Yeah, and that'll be a topic of discussion with
Yeah.
Cowie and from, it's different design. Some bridge designs require bearings that need to be replaced periodically. Others, some of these designs don't have bearings. Even the sort of the superstructure underneath, whether it's an I-beam, double or I-beam nested I-beam structure or a box girder. Box girders are confined spaces and, so there's more of an onus on the municipality to provide the proper training, ensure that people are trained who's ever doing inspections when they're getting into confined spaces.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. So we'll look forward to a recommendation on preferred design at the end of the month. Thank you. And the next item is our director's report, solid waste. That's been a very busy department, as you can see from the report that Bill put together. Are there any comments or questions for Phil? Council Cooper?
Yeah, you to fill, please. So one that's been ongoing for a long time is turbines. So from reading your report, I do kind of expect that from the next little while, both turbines will be up and running and be where they should be. Is that where we're at?
Thank you, and through the chair, and good evening, council. Good question you have. And remember, there was a bit of an insurance battle for quite a while in terms of who was responsible. Now, we did hear back from the insurance company, and we have replacement costs associated with the turbine. So through our evaluations of options, if you remember, the existing turbine company went bankrupt not long after we purchased the one. So there's another organization that has been replacing these turbines sort of around the globe based out of the Netherlands. So they've reached out through I'll say a site visit and indicated that they would be able to replace that particular unit with a new technology that they have, which is similar wind power, but different design, different model. And we're just waiting for a couple of final technical confirmations on both the electrical hookup to the grid, as well as an adapter bearing to put on top that their unit would sit on top. And we're estimating that once we get that final approval, that within 8 weeks, we'd have one on site and installed and hooked back up to the grid and both producing power. And if you remember, our COMFIT program, which was with the Nova Scotia Power, is until 2035. So every day that ticks by is time that we're not generating power for that particular agreement.
Yeah, all good, thank you.
I just had a quick one, Phil, on the Dexter construction capping the cell. And moving from the clay topping to an HDPE membrane. I just wondered what that was, and really pleased to know that it's going to save the county a whole lot of money to go that route.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and I say through the chair to the chair. Brought up a good point. That liner came up after our proposal was put out to the general contracting community. The consultant came back and said that there have been 2 cappings that have happened in the province since using this type of a liner, which is sort of a low linear density, high density, a very durable polyethylene material. And so if you remember, the cap would have been 750 millimeters of clay with another 250 millimeters of gravel, and then another 300 millimeters of organic material over top of that. So the replacement option is a geomembrane fabric on top of the solid waste, and then this poly material that would cover it, and then 500 millimeters of organic material, and that's your cap. So basically, the liner is going to replace both the clay and the granular material that was going to go on top. So initial calculations show a savings upwards of $218,000 plus. We're just waiting on the final design for the toe, the tie-in of the toes of the cap to know how much exactly the material is, but initial estimates show that kind of savings of almost $250,000. So.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Phil? Thank you, Phil, for this detailed report. We've gone right through all of our action and information items, and moving right along into our closed session. We won't be taking a break, but we'll give Tracy a couple of minutes to she needs to do. And I have a motion, please, to go in camera.